Thank you, and hi, everybody. I was just wondering whether this logo was big enough. Is it clear? Our name is Rise. So we're here because we've developed software for business aviation. We're supported, by the way, by BPI France, Région Nouvelle-Aquitaine, Airbus, and a few others. The logos are there on the right. And, um, and let's delve straight into the topic. So what do we mean when we say business aviation? I think we've all been on a scheduled airline, such as Air France, EasyJet, etc. Those are still down about 10% on 2019 levels, still struggling to recover. Business aviation, on the other hand, is 20% up on 2019 levels. Jets have never been flying more than they have today, and the trend is definitely upwards. However, business aviation's had an issue since its existence, actually. So for the last 50 years, here is something you'll easily understand. You've got a customer starting from London that wants to come here to Paris. So that's fine. The customer gets dropped off in Paris. But then maybe the next customer is in Barcelona. So the aircraft goes empty from Paris to Barcelona. And so it goes on day after day, week after week. The number of empty flights in business aviation is around 40%. Can you believe it? When you look up, the jets above our heads are empty 40% of the time. So it's a huge issue which has always been there and which is there because of the nature of the game. It's a taxi service, so there's the empty flights. So how does it work today? Well, this is what planning looks like in business aviation. So you've got aircraft number one that does this and this and this flight. Then you've got aircraft number two that does this and this flight. But this is really just one option. And when you think about it, maybe you could combine things differently and send the first aircraft to do this and that flight and the second aircraft to do things differently. What you need to keep in mind, though, is that there are a number of constraints associated with the infrastructure, the aircraft, the crew that need to be respected if you're going to plan or replan. So let's recap for a second. So business aviation, 40% of empty flights, and an equation that's a pretty complex one to resolve. So this begs the question, how are plannings made today? Well, believe it or not, today, in 98% of cases, plannings are made by human beings, which we think is a little bit crazy because a human being beyond 5 or 6 aircraft cannot come up with an optimal solution. So we've developed a solution to help, to assist the human being, and we've called it Optirize. It runs today with a few different fleets of business aviation operators. And obviously, it does a good job to help the human being. In fact, it yields savings in terms of operating costs of up to 20%, and savings in terms of CO2 that's avoided, of course, up to 15%. We've also thought about the future with all of the electric and decarbonized aircraft coming to the market, and we've made sure that our solution was able to accommodate the upcoming aircraft with shorter ranges and more constraints, so we can manage that as well. So that's Rise. Rise is also, of course, about people. So my history is in consulting for various industries and transportation, but I've also worked in high-speed trains where I was responsible for getting the most out of a train service, carrying the most people with as small a fleet as possible. So that's what I've always been doing. Jean-François is our CTO, and Stéphane is here for every question related to the industry itself. Thank you for your attention. Have a good day.